What's up, everyone? HeartCore here. It's been a long week since we last posted, but it's been a wild ride. But happy New Year and happy holidays, everyone. We just wanted to pop in and react to the new trailer that we are excited about, the Dawntrail, the new expansion. Also, I'm here with Siggy is back with Kaiser. Say hi, everybody.
We got
Hello.
the Siggy back.
Yep,
I'm
he's
back
here.
from beyond the grave.
We had to drag him.
Yep. It's been a
Kicking and
while.
screaming.
It's been a few weeks or videos you haven't been on it, right, Jeff?
Yeah, it's been at least a couple of months, at least.
Yep. So we saw some of the trailer and we wanted to react to it and give our thoughts, our Easter eggs, analyze it, all that stuff. So we're gonna
And
pop it.
go over the rest of what's coming, but seeing as the fact there's only one of us that actually watched
Right.
the announcement
Yes.
from FanFest.
Show
Who
off.
missed out?
Show off. We're not going to name any names. Let's carry on.
Alright, well, if
Okay.
we're ready, I will start it up.
Here it is. There we go. Yep. It's ready.
Okay. If somebody told me Soken didn't make this, I would probably not believe him.
Right.
Is
That
it
guy just-
actually?
I'm pretty sure he's the one in charge of most of the music.
I think he
Or
is.
he usually has his hands in it. Oh, we got Alphino back, as always.
I dare say our destination will soon be in sight.
My boy got that Jedi cloak.
Enjoying yourself for a change?
We got our new Gleamer friend.
Sensing strong Obi-Wan vibes. Why does he look like Luis Serra when he smiled with that mustache?
He looks like, what's his name from Pirates of the Caribbean?
Orlando Bloom.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Turner.
It's technically, been 10 years, or maybe longer, since 1.0, so he had to have that grow up.
Come now. There's no cause for panic.
My boy's great spear himself.
Uh-huh.
You know, why did
that
the
him-
fins remind me of
Himbo
Sid?
Husbando himself.
Right? Getting a very strong Capcom vibe with the glowing weak spots.
Right? It reminds me of Soul Calibur. You know?
Or Monster Hunter, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they did put that spear into World.
Uh-oh, what we got going on over here?
We got a two-headed Sahagin. Or Sahagin.
For a second, I thought that was a behemoth, kind of.
No.
You know how strong you had to be to... Oh, there's the other twin. Alice.
Yep. But we didn't see Alphino, we just heard him. Oh, and the usual...
That
fanfare.
Yep.
So we got the Pan Am introduced butt first.
Oh, we got a second sword.
Uh-oh. My boy
that's
got that
the-
Kirito.
That's the Viper, right?
Yeah, that is Viper.
Yeah.
The Nutkin!
Siggy's question is, why was it hiding under Ishtola's skirt?
Right?
I said something like she's been hiding squirrels under her skirt.
Just Thancred with some ladies. And
Blocked.
the Nutkin pulling his, usual cock blocking for Thancred. Just in a different way this time.
Meanwhile, in a galaxy far, far away,
Meanwhile, the Warrior of Light is actually doing all the work while they're lazing about. As usual.
I hope that's going to be a mode that you should be able to do in the game, kind of like what you would do with like
I think there is like a swap.
yeah. If you think with like
Oh, Graha and
Shield Hill,
Istako. Ever since that one,
got that chalupa.
he's just got to have food, and we get Cryo with an actual job.
I can't believe that she went through this whole entire storyline, multiple storylines, being jobless.
I think she was an arcanist.
Yeah, but you never really saw her in action, really.
No.
You saw her with the book.
Yeah.
Wasn't she a scholar at some point, or arcanist?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But we never really got like what she was, and while everyone else kind of gained a job, she was the only one really with just a class. Because Red Mage doesn't have a class, Sage doesn't have a class. You could make an argument for Stinian, but he is the Azure Dragoon, so...
I love the colors, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there he is. Now we get to see him.
Behold the scene of our next great adventure.
Look at the smile on him, boy.
And I think that's actually how the graphics are gonna look, facial-wise, from what they were showing off.
I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
with the upgrades.
This is a CGI. That's not. it's not
Why is Booba to head proportions way off?
Yeah, very small head compared to body.
Can you go back, Kaiser, for a second? Let me see
Which one?
the looks of the Hrothgar. Pause it. Okay, so my only problem is the eyes. It looks out of place. I don't know, the proportion for the facial feature.
There.
And like you said, Jeff, that hand.
And yeah, look at the body and then the head.
Yeah, like the body is like squarish. It's like very tanky-ish. And then the head, it just seems like it's super like composed to the rest of the body. Like the hands, like if you face palm with those paws, that's it. You're knocking yourself clean out.
That's
Like
you cover up maybe like a normal person would cover up maybe like 75% of their face with their hand. That's just a whole 95% of your face is covered with that one hand.
those are like NBA player hands, like gripping the basketball.
I really feel like they took the Rogadins, the female Rogadins, and then just slapped on the Hrothgar to the Femgars.
Yeah.
I've seen people say Femheroth. Femgars just sounds so much better
Yeah, I agree.
as a short abbreviation.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to get used to these new character models. Like to me, like the heads are just way too. It just seems like they're way too small for the body.
Yeah.
But this is just a CGI, so who knows? It could just be misproportioned due to the angle because the cowboy shot or whatever.
Or the hair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like this looks a lot different compared to the old
because he
CGI.
is not old. Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell like the shaders in the cheeks, like the lightness and like under the eyes and everything like that. You can totally tell that they're starting to use like the new textures for the faces. I mean, because what it is, they're not really increasing the poly count for the character model. They're just increasing the detail of the meshes that are being used to look more 4K-ish, to allow a lot more shadows and blending. It's allowing a lot more of the color spectrum compared to what the other ones were, which were like the 1080p's, and now we're looking more like 2K, 4K-ish kind of graphics.
Mm-hmm. And pulling an image from the FanFest. Here we have the before what we currently have with what they've updated to on the right.
It seems more shadowy in some parts.
Yeah, there's more shadows. It's a lot. The edges are more defined. Like you can really see it on the cheeks. Off.
You can totally tell in the hair too, because you can see how the before picture on the left, it's kind of like a 2 flat tone. It's kind of like black. Well, I should say 3 because it goes from like black to gray, and then it's like smack white. And then if you look on the
Mhm.
one on the right hand side, you can tell that there's a lot more of the blending of the colors. You can see a lot more. It's like the
Even
details of the finer strands.
yeah, even with the outfit. If you look at the
Yeah,
original, the I guess leather going around the shoulders, and then you look at the new one, you can really tell the texture on that compared. And even the shadow around the collar is lighter, but it looks a lot more natural.
yeah. Then you get a lot more of the shadow, what we call like the sunken skull features. So you have
Mhm.
like the eye sockets, especially the eyes. You can totally tell the difference between the left versions of the eyes to the right versions of the eyes. You can totally tell around like the sockets around like the brow, the spots around
The
the upper lip and the nose. You can tell, especially the
the eyes
cheeks.
are the eyes are darker, but they look more of a natural
Yeah,
uh they look more natural. Like this, I can understand the light coming, but with here, there's more shadow. It's more hidden, and with the aura, you can really tell.
yeah. The
With
definition of the
the
scales.
scales, yeah. Like on the left one around the collar, you can see uh, the bigger ones on the side. But once it gets down towards the chest area, the clavicle, it kind of all just gets meshed together. Whereas on the right, it's a lot more defined lines and
Yeah,
texture.
it looks like they're on the not on just plastered on the skin. It looks like they're actually
Yeah,
in the
The
it's like
skin.
it's
hair,
actually protruding from the skin and not like a tattoo.
Yeah,
hmm Same again with the metal. The metal is very polished. It's not like a muted kind of metal. It's got that polished look. It's got that, like luster.
Yeah,
And even, especially with this, you can really tell the difference in the hairs. Whereas the left, it just really looks more anime, where it's that blocky kind of, it's all clumped together. Whereas on the right, it's clumped together, but it still looks like it's flowing.
yeah. The left one screams cloud.
hmm
just
Yeah,
mesh on
definitely.
top.
And then for the last one that I had from that, which is funny because each one of us is playing one of these classes, or not
Right.
classes, but races. We got the Makote, the Ara, and the human. But you can definitely tell the difference on this model with the cheeks and jowl, the ear, which was another thing I noticed with like the Lalafels. I didn't get that one,
Yeah,
but
Lalafell's
the
ears look like cookies, but then they actually added details within the new ones. I mean,
yeah,
because they didn't have any, because they were
with
so
the
small.
with the Lalafels and the Ellison, their ears looked like those cosmetic ones that cosplayers would use,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah,
now they look a lot more natural. Again, different texture with the or different outfit looks a bit better. The headband looks exactly the same, but I mean that's just a headband.
right. I think they didn't want to waste
The
any of the poly counts on something that was meaningless with something that could just change with
mhm.
the hairstyle.
On this one, you have sort of that. It's weird. You have like that a girl that's like on a drug use on the left, and on the right, it's a normal person. I don't know. It's just if you look at the eyes alone between them, the left one is just so like dead.
Yeah, it does have like that
But
deadpan look.
yeah, but the nose looks a lot different. The lips, you can actually tell, that they have some uh that they're plump, or that they have something there compared to
They're
the
not
other
as
one.
lifeless, and they
Yes.
love.
The It goes from, we're playing as dolls to actually an in-game character.
And I wonder,
So,
like with the hairstyle on the right, I wonder if it's like something. If you look at the bangs compared to the left version, there's not like a shadow. Compared to
yeah.
the right version, you can tell that there's a shadow. I don't know if that's just texture from the hair itself. Like I guess if you have parted bangs, I guess there's going to be less shadow on the forehead compared to something that has a lot more bangs. You can totally tell
Well,
that the
if
hair
you look
would
at
be
the
yeah,
aura, you have more
open area there. So yeah, it makes sense.
less shadow. Same for Makote. There's kind of that cutoff, but I like the gradient look of that
Me too.
shadow. Because again, it just gives more realism, and this is where we're really going to see the cutoff of the PS4 to the and only PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X will be able to handle this going forward.
Yeah, what were the
Because
specs
of
again?
I don't have that offhand, but
Doesn't it
Yeah, that's.
say
I think
minimum or
I think
recommended 20
I think it's
something?
like a 2080 or something like that if you're on PC.
2060 I think is
2060. Yeah, I think you're right.
but that could be the old from when we got the upgrade from uh PS3 to PS4, because this is the second time Square Enix has done this. We used to have, this was a PS3 PC game, but then once the PS4 had made it was out long enough, they decided to up the graphics for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you're right. I just pulled it up. So CPU, Intel Core, at least an i7 9700 or higher, RAM 16 gigs. Video card if you're using NVIDIA, so GeForce RTX at least 2060 or higher, or Radeon RX 5600 or TX or higher. So yeah, dedicated RAM is a 6144 megabytes,
Yeah.
and pixel shader and stuff like that is like 5.0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's gonna be chunky, man. Especially with just the update for Dawntrail in itself is looking like 140 gigs.
Yeah.
So for those that are planning
I
on
think
getting
we're
get an
I think
SSD.
well, I think we're already in the hundreds,
Oh
so
yeah, I
I
think it
wouldn't
only adds like an additional maybe 10 or 12.
Somewhere.
something.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is more server side,
Yeah,
which is, I think, where I'm hoping more will get in the future, but that's industry based.
yeah, and
So,
those are just recommendations for those that are running
Mm-hmm.
on normal quality, and that way you're not, dare I say, potato PC settings. And those are just strictly for those that are running on PC. If you're playing on PS5, of course, your
Mm-hmm.
system's going to be able to handle that. It's going to update
Xbox Series
automatically.
X,
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be perfectly fine it should be fine right from the get go, but I mean, this is expansion release. We've been around long enough to
You know, the lighting,
see
all
how
that
bad it
stuff.
is.
Like it needs more power, especially that area. You know, the one they showed, the cyberpunky area.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yep.
What do they name
That's going
it?
to probably.
So, yeah, if we want to go into the rest of it, we can start there if you want.
Yeah, about the
Yeah,
area.
we can do
Okay,
that.
so let me bring that up. Oops.
I think there is a. I saw a picture earlier.
I'm going to love that Cyberpunk. Now, for those
So
who
this
remember,
is
I
so
don't really
this
play.
is so this is one of the new areas. This is Solution 9, which
Oh,
for
that's what it's
any
called.
heavy Final Fantasy nerds is from Final Fantasy 9.
Yep.
Uh, the main character, this was one of his attacks, but this actually has a this is actually a place.
It looks so dope.
Also, if you see on the right, it looks like there's a Makote or something on that billboard.
Yeah,
You see the eyes.
the eyes.
So this kind of looks like uh it's taking some inspirations from Final Fantasy 13 from some of what I seen when I played that, but it has that very futuristic
It's going to
cyberpunk.
be the main hub too, right?
Yeah,
This I'm
I could
pretty
see some mixes
sure.
between 13 and 10. Yeah, because if you
Yeah.
look at like
Yep.
Xanarkin and stuff like that, you know
Yep.
how
And
like the
that's what a lot of
Blitzball
people
area.
were. Oh hell no, we're not getting Blitzball.
No, no, I'm
I
talking about
don't want
like the
it.
banners and stuff like that. As
Yeah.
far,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hopefully they don't have anything crazy like that. But I'm talking about like how everything's like the neon signposts, like the floating
Mm-hmm.
like LED lights and that kind of stuff. Because that was very
This,
Xanarkin.
but this should be probably somewhere around the end of the expansion, and will be the
The major
Razadhan.
hub. Yeah.
It'll be the. So we'll have the. Sorry. in the trailer, we saw what could be the starting hub, kind of like our old Charlian. Any of those where this is the point that you're starting off the expansion from. Solution 9 will then be the final hub where you'll gather. This is where you would get your end game gear.
Yeah, where you do your trials, probably where you're going to do your hunting logs and stuff like that from.
Well, that'll be at the starting one too.
Yeah.
But this will also lead into what is the 8-man raid, which is just a giant graphics card tower. Which is what everyone. Well, it's like, look, they even said in the FanFest, "Oh yeah, look, everybody will know what that is."
For a second,
Is
I
that a
thought that was a
4090
boss.
Ti?
Isn't it a boss or a structure? I can't really
This is
tell.
the
It's a structure. It's a
Oh.
tower.
This is where it will take place at. This is the 8-man raid.
Ah, gotcha.
So the other part to that they didn't or I don't have for this area is a kind of old western area somewhere maybe on the outskirts of this place of Solution 9 that is similar to the Thunder Plains from 10 was what the community and what they were talking about.
Also about that new class? Wasn't it in 6 or something like that? I haven't played 6
Yes.
all the way.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'll get picked. So what I'm sure Siggy's gonna love is talking raids, the return of Final Fantasy XI.
Yes.
Echoes of Fantasy. So Siggy, you would know more about this than either of us. Can you explain?
Yes.
What you
So
know?
from the Echoes of Vanadil, what they're going to be doing is that they're going to actually be introducing some of the beast classes from Final Fantasy XI, which is actually pretty cool because they already have the assets for it because it's an existing game, and some of the loot and everything like that is going to be themed after some of like the harder pieces to get from Final Fantasy XI. And it's been one of my hardcore favorite games, since I think I spent more time playing Final Fantasy 11 than I've actually spent time playing Final Fantasy 14 as a collective. So I'm glad that they actually added Final Fantasy 11 because a lot of the assets for this game originally started off as upgraded versions of Vanadil, which is a lot of the plots from Final Fantasy 11. And
Eureka too?
oh yeah, Eureka is a
Eureka.
complete, I guess it's a modern version of what 11 is currently now. So Eureka back in it's like the training wheel version what Vanadil was back when the game originally started. So you can level up and level down based off of deaths. You lose the XP when you die.
But this is probably going to be different than that because this is going to be a 24-man
Right. I
raid.
think
So
it's
this will
going to
follow the
storyline.
traditional.
Yeah.
It'll follow the style of the 14 24-man raids, but it will have the elements that made because this was a raid, right?
Yeah. This
In
one is
11.
a full-blown raid. Yeah.
And this was almost impossible to beat when it first came out, from what I've been hearing. When you first reached level 50 back in 11, people tried it, and even like the home servers there in Japan, they couldn't beat it for a while.
No,
Yeah,
people still love 11, and they still love Eureka in this game too. So
Yeah.
they'd be happy.
People are still playing 11. So
Yeah, and 11, when it first came out, it was because 11 was so brutal. This game, you can do a lot of stuff single, like solo. And in Final Fantasy 11, when you got beyond a certain point, it was like when you got to like level 12 or 15, the game really wanted to force you into becoming part of like a brotherhood where it forced you to participate with other people. And it took you so long to get so high to level to find places and to find people because this is the dawn of the internet. It wasn't matchmaking. You either had to have your link shells, which is structured what your grand companies are now, and it was just so hard. It was no strategy really because back in the day, if you didn't have a strategy guide was gamer facts that most people posted most of their stuff as far as strats go.
Vax, yeah.
Yeah, and the raid back in the day was brutal, and if you passed it, you really earned accolades. So this is going to be the revival of that. It won't be nowhere near as hard, but you're going to go through that storyline according to like how the original lore of Final Fantasy is going to be. They're going to bring up some major players that's going to be part of Vanadil. We've actually know of a few of them, so there's I wonder if they're going to actually call them by the actual race names instead of like they're going to be like Mithra instead of Lalafell, Tartarus.
Because I'm wondering too if they're going to be doing that because of where this could be at. Because we've already done where we've jumped worlds going to the 13th.
Maybe
they could flip this whole solution 9, and rather than it being on the source, it's actually on one of the other
maybe the older Final
worlds.
Fantasy. Yep.
Yeah, I can totally see that happening.
Could be 11. We don't know.
Well, it could be 11. It could be the 10th.
13.
The 13th was the void. It's just depending on what they're working with for their new narrative going forward.
Yet. I'm excited for the new classes, though.
Oh yeah, that's going to be the next topic, right?
Well, we can make that. I was actually going to have a couple more before that, but if you want to do that...
no, by all means, we'll stick to your game plan. Don't let Siggy... First video, I'm not hijacking it.
Well, I just want to jump in with the meme that has come, because I swear somebody at 14 had to know that this was coming.
The devil may
with how big it's become. The barrel tender.
My God! Look
or
at
as I called it during the fan fest, the Swoltor.
My milkshake brings out a cactus in a yard, and they're like,
I've seen so many memes for this. I wanted to bring this up. I've seen this guy only needs one needle to beat you.
One needle? I thought the what's their face? These small guys.
The cactus uses 1,000 needles. Yeah.
But he's so buff, all he needs is just one.
Yeah.
Steroids.
And then
my boy got that muscle milk overdose.
And then just to go back to it real quick, the shot of the 3 different
I don't know why it looks like we're looking at Avatar.
Have. See, now they look a lot more natural.
Yeah, it's better.
I gotta say.
Here is better. But the CGI didn't do it better.
Yeah, the CGI didn't do it justice. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. See, compared to here and here, these look a lot better.
Anybody else getting deaf by Shnu Shnu vibes by just looking at that?
You're already a Thailander.
Thank you. Thank you for calling him out.
What? I'm just saying they look like the race from that episode of Futurama. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, gosh. And they do have the tails. I did see that our Femgar friend is going to have a hat, which could be one of the outfits that they'll give them. But they actually can wear certain hats. Who knows if they're making it so Hrothgar's
could be. I mean,
and Vera can wear all hats?
Yeah.
Or it's just... They're still going with certain hats are allowed.
It could be an upgrade,
I feel sorry for Qui-Gon if it's not. If it's
he might be like, oh, fuck it.
All right.
Everything else gets updated but the hats.
Do we want to start off with the one that...
Yeah, real quick.
Jeff will have...
Keep on going.
Well, I was just saying for the classes.
Yeah.
Do we want to go with the one that Jeff knows probably the most about?
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, the Beastmaster.
So this right here was a very interesting job choice, which is good because they're coming up with all these different jobs that are going to be a limited job, so it's going to run right in hand with Blue Mage. And the Beastmaster job is so cool because it was one of the first classes, especially if you played Final Fantasy XI, it was one of your first advanced job classes that you unlocked at level 30. And it seems simple in nature because in a sense they acted a lot like warriors. I guess, Final Fantasy Warrior, which was kind of like your standard DPS. They had the ability to charm monsters. And so you're going to charm monsters out in the wild. So if you're fighting like a cactuar or something like that, if you dropped it low enough, it's almost like a game of Pokemon. If you drop
That's what I
the
was gonna
HP
say.
lower, you can charm it and it will fight along with you. And then, whatever, I mean, it acts as a party
I
member.
I feel like I should already be ready for all of the people just making the memes of gotta catch 'em all, gotta be the best.
I mean, didn't they do the same
Just
thing with
pulling the Pokemon.
10 2 or Yuna or when they changed to the dress sphere for
Oh, yeah.
I
what was it?
don't know.
I don't remember what it's
I-
called.
I'm
I
but
don't
assuming,
remember which job
though-
class it was.
I'm assuming though this is because I just pulled this from Google that this is probably somebody's. This was from 11. Like this was one of the female cat girls,
yeah.
Yeah, it
and they had a
is.
whip or something, a whip sword.
So basically, what it was that they didn't have. I mean, because in 11, any
Oh
job
yeah,
could use any weapon, but it was just that certain
that's so
classes
weird.
were more proficient at using other weapons, and you actually had to level up your weapon class like you would have to level up your character. So if you got power leveled to 90 from like level 1 and you didn't increase your weapon ability, when you fought level 90s, you would just get beat up because of the fact that you didn't increase your level, your weapon level. You had to increase like your dodge, evasion, and all that through normal combat. So, but later on, when you got beyond level 60 or like level 75, which used to be like the hard cap for the longest time, they started adding specific job class weapons. And then they basically added like the sword that turned into a whip for Beastmasters. Because originally Beastmasters would just be Beastmasters and it was sub either like ninja, like a sub job that allowed you to use the job of another class that was half your level, or you would sub like warrior or something like that, because of the fact that warriors were like critical when it came to like using close quarter combat. Because a lot of the time Beastmasters, after a while, when you got to a certain level, Beastmasters didn't only just were able to charm monsters. Because if you think about the ones that you charm in the wild, the higher level and then the higher the HP, the charm would only last for so long. And when a charm would wear off, the monster would turn against you. It becomes hostile. And then you would have to charm it again, or hopefully, if you can't charm it, you would have to kill the creature. But then they also added summoning pots where you could summon monsters at full strength and you don't have to worry about them turning against you. So
Well,
I think that's
But
going to be another aspect where you can summon
did
monsters.
they
well,
really
it's
show
gonna.
this class or how it like plays? Because I haven't really
No, they
seen that.
didn't show
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, and given that it's a limited job too.
Yeah.
Like we don't know much about it.
So let me grab this real quick.
I
Just
wonder,
so
since it's
this
a
is
limited
what they
job.
showed. Was just a picture of a
Yeah.
blue mage with Beastmaster. The only thing I can see is either they're gonna go with, because in Basha we did have the Beastmasters that we fought against,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he had an axe and maybe a shield, and that's kind of what I'm seeing. So we might either get a whip or we're gonna get an axe and shield for this class. All I can hope is that they're going to give it a huge level boost. If not, we'll get up to like maybe level 70 or 80. And then further down, when they give Blue Mage the level boost for the expansion, they'll bring Beastmaster up to Blue Mage. Just so
I
that way
wonder.
they're together and we're not having to hope that Beastmaster catches up
Right.
at some point to Blue Mage. Just make them both the same.
Same level, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's going to be added content for Beastmaster, like with Blue Mage with the Mass Carnival. There was
Oh,
nothing
I would
like that.
imagine so. Or
Yeah, there
they're
was nothing
gonna.
really like that in Final Fantasy
I
11. So I
bet
wonder what they're going to do with that.
they'll put like an arena or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
that
what
would
I'm
be
thinking.
cool to have like a
I'm
gladiator arena.
I'm thinking they're gonna do more with the Mass Carnival, because why not? Have the the lady in charge of multiples would be so worthwhile. So
But we don't know. We're
to
just
move.
speculating.
Yep, we're just
Yeah.
speculating at this point. So moving on to the next one. Kind of going backwards of release at this point. Pictomancer. Yes, this was from Final Fantasy VI.
Yep.
This was one of the jobs in that. They can create They
Flowers
create
and
stuff with their
butterflies?
magic. Yes. They
Creation
have
magic.
access to all of the elements based on what color they're using. So you use red, it's fire, blue, water, that kind
As
of thing from what
expected.
they were saying.
Yep.
So for all those that wanted to become Sai from Naruto, here you go.
I still can't sleep
Just-
from that edited Yoshi P's face on top of the,
Oh my
Oh
gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, I gave you
gotta say,
nightmares.
I gotta say, I was watching Mr. Happy, and he was saying, oh yeah, show your midriff, and
I mean, the guy should
all of a sudden Yoshi P says, "No, I'm not wearing it to
Of
show my
course,
midriff."
the guy have some decency, like self-respect. Why would he show that?
Yeah. So this will be an interesting one. You make landscapes, you make your attacks. They showed off the Moogle. Probably the Spriggan is also going to be another move that they
It
have.
kind of feels like it's another summoner. I could be wrong though.
Yeah. There won't be any. This is going to be another one of the casters without a raise. So
Yeah.
there won't be any raises from this one.
Yep.
Okay, well, we have Red Mage, we have Summoner, we have the healers, we're fine. And then just moving on to the last one to kind of finish soon, the Viper. This is the one I am the most happy about because I have been wanting this job without realizing it was going to be this for the longest time. If anybody has played Dissidia or Final Fantasy 12,
Yep.
Gabranth. In Dissidia, you get to play as him. He was probably my main when I played that through all of them. I loved playing as him. I wanted that kind of class of using two swords, putting them into, a double sword. And now we get that. So as much as I like Reaper, Monk, and all of the other DPS, I'm really wanting this one to be good.
Come to think about it, as far as like Gabranth, you kind of figure that you figure that you see more judge-like characters because the judges have always been super popular in the Final Fantasy franchise that with the games that introduced them to it. So even like games like Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and stuff like that, when they added like those judge-like characters, especially with their armor, the armor is iconic. You've had other characters that was in this game that had very similar armor to.
So
Missed opportunity there.
pulling a couple of extra things, just a minute each. We can go over the trailers that they showed.
Oh yeah.
For each one. So obviously this is either going to be their starting outfit or their final outfit.
I'm assuming it's going to be the starter.
Yeah. Also another new enemy, a squirrel with razor blades on the arm. Probably
Which I love that character design.
Oh yeah, there's one of the landscapes, probably a buff.
What's that Mickey Mouse game?
Kingdom Hearts?
No, not Kingdom Hearts.
Probably the Victory or Battle Stance.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, I think that might be the Victory Stance.
So,
what is it called? 1,000-Year Kingdom or something like that, where it was paint themed. For some odd reason, that I got a lot of vibes from that.
I don't know. Oh, Nikote, because of the tail. So here's Viper.
Man, its class is so dope.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we cracked the screen! So while the Pictomancer was in a new area, this is back in Costa del Sol. Yeah, see, you just have where he merged it.
It's a rotation that does that.
Yep. It's a combo set.
Oof. Yeah, that job's gonna be nasty, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really like the I'm definitely gonna be setting up for.
But we don't want to drag
glams.
on this thing. But
Give us more glams. But for me, I will say before we end, one of the biggest things I'm happy about, and coming with the Beastmaster and the new 24-man raid, getting the Final Fantasy XI team, getting this team of veterans that have been working on a game well over 2 decades. I think when I looked it up, it was 2002 11 came out. We should be getting a lot more big things from the whole Final Fantasy 14 team. Not to like put them in a rock and a hard place of trying to match that. I mean, they're already bringing a lot, and then something we didn't even go over was the whole die system, which I'm all excited about.
Oh yeah,
Getting
the
2
multicolored die
but
systems. Yeah,
this has already been going on long enough, so that's my thing. Is thankfully we'll get to see, or hopefully we'll get to see more because of this dynamic of the 14 team that we've all known for, the past decade, and the Final Fantasy XI team that has been doing it for 2 decades, for probably the most hardened of, veterans of that team.
I completely agree. Especially getting a lot of the stuff from 11. Yeah, because they had some crazy stories.
This on, guys,
Yep.
but it's been like what 40 minutes now. Holy crap!
Yeah.
But
this will be one of the longest ones. But there was so much to
I might
unpack
cut it off,
from
like
this.
put it like 2 parts, but
That's fine.
well,
More
this
content.
is our analysis. That's like what we think. We might do more because we didn't really talk about a lot of this stuff, but this is
Like
our
dies.
thoughts. Yep. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care, guys.